What's going on, guys? Welcome in. I am Kadarius Washington, and this is the Sports Rundown. It's a pleasure to have you guys in as always, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell to be notified of when I post again, and also follow me on Twitter and on Bluesky at CW Talk Sports. That's CWTALKS Sports, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm back. Yes, I am indeed back. I just needed a few days of some rest, some relaxation, or some self care, as the kids like to call it nowadays. But nevertheless, I'm back and I am ready to talk some sports with you guys. I only got three topics for you today. Of course, we have the French Open going on right now. Alexander Zverev taking on Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinal. Of course, Zverev taking the first set 6-4, and then Djokovic currently serving with a 3-1 lead as far as the second set is concerned. And then our two matches on the women's side earlier today. We had Coco Gauff taking down Madison Keys in 3 sets in that one. It was, for the most part, a very sloppy match. I mean, a lot of unforced errors, a lot of moon balls, a lot of double faults and all of that stuff. But after Keys won that first set, Coco Gauff eventually found herself in a rhythm, and Keys unfortunately never recovered. But Coco Gauff advancing to the semifinal. And then, of course, the other matchup, you had Andreeva taking on Boisson, the French lady, who was a wild card, and that's an absolutely incredible Cinderella story there, ranked, I believe, 360th in the world last time I checked it. But she gets a straight sets win, and she has been an absolutely phenomenal story as far as the women's side is concerned. And then, of course, tomorrow for the semifinal at 9 a.m., you've got Aryna Sabalenka taking on Iga Swiatek, which is going to be an absolutely incredible matchup. I'm definitely going to be into that. Two of the best players in the tennis world as far as the women are concerned. And, of course, for a long time, they were fluctuating between the 1 seed and the 2 seed. Well, the number 1 ranking and the number 2 ranking. But nevertheless, that is going to be an absolutely phenomenal final. And of course, Swiatek, the reigning defending 3 in a row champion as far as the clay court. She's really good on the clay court. I don't really know as much on the other surfaces, as she's really struggled, especially on the grass. And especially on the hard court, but the clay court, that is definitely Swiatek's surface, and Sabalenka, of course, the number 1 ranked player in tennis. So that's going to be a really, really good semifinal matchup. And then, of course, we got Boisson and Coco Gauff. That's going to be taking place right after. I don't think we have any men's semifinals tomorrow. I think that's going to be on Friday. But those are some really good matches on the women's side. And then, of course, on the men's side, no surprise, Yannick Sinner absolutely destroying Bublev in straight sets. And then, of course, obviously, the Zverev and Djokovic matchup going as I speak. And then, of course, for the semifinal on Friday, you got Musetti taking on Carlos Alcaraz, and then Yannick Sinner getting the winner of this Zverev-Djokovic match. So that's definitely something to keep in mind of as we get down to the stretch as far as Roland Garros is concerned. All right, so the second thing that I want to get into, obviously the big news of yesterday as far as the NBA world is concerned, the New York Knicks once again showing why the New York Knicks can't have nice things. They just can't have nice things. I mean, they get a little bit of success and they don't know how to treat it. I mean, Tom Thibodeau gets shown the door yesterday, literally 3 days after taking the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals, somewhere that they have not been in 25 years. The Knicks are showing you in real time, once again, that they are an absolute circus. I mean, my goodness, Tom Thibodeau, who took this team to the playoffs 4 times in the last 5 years, having back-to-back 50-win seasons. And of course, last year, taking this team deep into the semifinals, to the game 7 of the semifinal, but unfortunately, they had a million injuries and they couldn't overcome it. And then, of course, you get to the Eastern Conference Final, and of course, you lose in 6 there. And of course, the ball bouncing up in game 1, and that lucky freaking fluky shot. And of course, Karl-Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby missing free throws, taking this Knicks team to the Eastern Conference Finals. And what's Tom Thibodeau's thanks for it? What is his thanks for it? He gets shown the freaking door. Jim Dolan, and I believe Jim Dolan is behind this, because let's not forget the fact that Leon Rose is Tom Thibodeau's agent. So why would he fire him? Why would that make sense? And then, of course, you got the players, the report of the players talking about their feedback at the end of the year. This really has Jim Dolan written all over it. I think this is definitely Dolan's doing. And, of course, Dolan is an absolute clueless owner. And, of course, you had the situation with Oakley back a few years ago. And then, of course, the Knicks get a little tinge bit of success, and Tom Thibodeau, he's out. That is absolutely pathetic. That is an absolute terrible job by the New York Knicks. Now, listen, some people are going to say that they're not surprised. Other people are going to say that the Knicks needed a new voice. Regardless of what your opinion is, this was not the right thing to do. This was an absolutely raw deal that Tom Thibodeau got. I mean, listen, if the Knicks forced a game 7, do you think Tom Thibodeau's out of a job? If they win game 1 of the conference final against Indiana, do you think he gets fired? I mean, come on. That is absolutely ridiculous. Bare bones minimum, you give Thibodeau another year. And that's not even considering the fact that he literally just signed a 3-year extension with them in the offseason, and right before that extension kicks in, he's out. That is absolutely horrible by the New York Knicks. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. And listen, I thought early on, if they had lost that first round series to Detroit, that, okay, Thibodeau's probably gone. But I thought his job was safe, especially after beating Boston. I thought after he beat Boston, I said, okay, so Thibodeau's going to be around for maybe another year or two. Wrong. As Thibodeau gets shown the door, and I really do believe that Jim Dolan was behind this. Now, listen. I've been hearing smoke, too, about them going after maybe Danny Hurley from UConn, or Jay Wright, the former Villanova coach, or Mike Malone. Now, listen, another thing with that, too, it's crazy how all of these successful coaches have been getting shown the door. First, you get rid of Taylor Jenkins. Then you get rid of Mike Malone. Now, listen, if you want to say that Malone wore out his welcome and, of course, the drama with the GM and them not speaking to each other, we can have a conversation about that, but that still doesn't make it right. But I mean, look at all these, look at this. So the last few coaches of the year in the NBA, Dwayne Casey, Mike Budenholzer, Nick Nurse, Tom Thibodeau, Monty Williams, and Mike Brown, all of them have been fired at least once. All of them have been fired at least once. And, of course, Thibodeau, the new name on the list. Now, back to the other candidates. So even if you give Hurley or you give Jay Wright the keys to the franchise, how can you guarantee that their college schemes are going to translate in the NBA? How can you guarantee that? How can you guarantee that Mike Malone, who albeit is a champion coach and is a great coach, and I believe he's going to get a job somewhere? I mean, this doesn't even make sense to me. Now, listen, I think all 3 choices would be great hires, but this firing of Tom Thibodeau does not make sense to me. That is an absolutely terrible, Terrible job by the New York Knicks. And they're showing once again that they just can't have nice things. All right, one more thing before I sign off. The Stanley Cup final, the puck on the Stanley Cup final drops tonight. We got the rematch of last year between Edmonton and Florida. And I really like Edmonton to win this thing in 7. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. Of course, it went to 7 last year. And honestly, I think Edmonton is due. I think Edmonton's due. I think Connor McDavid is due. I think Canada's due because obviously they haven't won a Stanley Cup since Montreal did it in '93. But I really like Edmonton. Now, listen, Florida has been absolutely incredible. They've been arguably the best team as far as the postseason is concerned. Sergei Bobrovsky been standing on his head for the organization. But I really like Edmonton in this series. Now, listen, I'm a very casual hockey fan. I only really watch during the playoffs. So whatever happens during the regular season, I really don't have a track of it. But I really like Edmonton to win this thing. And of course, Connor McDavid, by far and away the best player in the world. And of course, a Stanley Cup for McDavid is going to solidify himself definitely as one of the all-time greats. Djokovic with a 4-1 lead in the second set as we continue here in the French Open. And of course, tomorrow I plan on coming here and giving you guys my official NBA Finals prediction, so be on the lookout for that. Well, folks, that is going to do it for this edition of the Sports Rundown. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell to be notified of when I post again, and also follow me on Twitter and on Bluesky at CW Talk Sports, CWTALKS Sports, and I will see y'all the next time. Peace.